I am 89 years old, and I am not here to inspire you. I am here to warn you. Because most people don't ruin their lives in dramatic ways. They don't implode. They don't self-destruct overnight. They slowly, politely, quietly choose habits, thoughts, and compromises that make them miserable. And then they call it just the way life is. That's what I did. When you come out of a storm, you are not the same person who walked in. I learned that late, after too many storms had already reshaped me without my permission. Courage is the most important virtue there is, because without courage you cannot practice any other virtue consistently. And courage isn't loud, it's not confidence. It's the decision to move when fear tells you to stay still. Most people will deceive you if you give them half a chance. Not always with lies, sometimes with comfort, sometimes with flattery, sometimes with silence. And every next level of your life will demand a different version of you. I resisted that. I tried to stay who I was while life kept asking me to grow. That resistance cost me years. You don't have to see the whole staircase. You never do. You just have to take the first step. I spent decades waiting to feel ready, waiting to feel certain, waiting to feel deserving. I thought hesitation was wisdom. It wasn't. It was fear wearing good manners. Don't let anyone ever make you feel like you don't deserve what you want. I let that happen. I listened to people who spoke from their own limitations and mistook their doubt for truth. I shrank myself to make others comfortable and then wondered why my life felt small. You don't drown by falling into the water. You drown by staying there. That applies to relationships, jobs, habits, identities, and stories you keep telling yourself long after they've stopped being true. Life is risky by nature. There is only one risk you should avoid at all costs: doing nothing. The chief danger in life is taking too many precautions. I was careful. Careful with my words, careful with my dreams, careful with my time, careful with my heart. And in the end, all that caution protected nothing worth keeping. The most important thing you will ever learn is how to fall. Bad days build better days if you let them teach instead of harden you. A hard lesson I learned too late is that not everybody wishes you well. Some people want you predictable. Some want you smaller. Some want you dependent. And some don't know what they want except that it shouldn't threaten their version of the world. Let the improvement of yourself keep you so busy that you have no time to criticize others. I wasted energy judging, comparing, resenting. That energy could have built something. People complicate their lives as if living weren't already complicated enough. I did that by replaying conversations, rehearsing outcomes, imagining disasters that never came, and missing the life that actually was happening. If there is one lesson life repeats mercilessly, it's this: wishing doesn't make it so. Intention without action is self-deception. Hope without movement is a lullaby. Sometimes you are not going to fit in, no matter how hard you try. I tried anyway, for years. I betrayed myself in small ways just to belong to rooms that never truly welcomed me. It would have been better to be alone than to disappear in company. Every journey has its final day. Don't rush, but don't sleepwalk either. Don't take people for granted. You never know when they'll be gone. You never know how much they mean to you until the silence shows up where they used to be. Never back down from a real challenge. Those are the ones that leave marks worth keeping. When one door closes, another opens, but you'll miss it if you spend too long staring at the door that's shut. I did that. I mourned versions of life that were already gone, while new ones waited patiently to be noticed. Trust what your instincts whisper, even when everyone else is shouting. You are the only person who can be both your best friend and your worst enemy. You choose which one gets the microphone. You cannot control the behavior of others, but you can always choose how you respond. People only improve with experience if they are willing to learn from pain instead of running from it. Tough times don't create heroes. They reveal the one that's already there, or the one you've been avoiding. You have to speak up for yourself. No one else will do it cleanly. No one else will protect your boundaries the way you must. Don't cry because something ended. Smile because it happened, and then ask yourself what it taught you. Sometimes you have to lose everything familiar to find out who you truly are. There is no happiness or unhappiness by itself, only comparison, only contrast, only perspective. A person who has never known despair has no language for joy. Some of your hardest times will turn out to be blessings disguised as punishment. Suffering, when faced honestly, doesn't destroy you, it refines you. But rehearsing suffering in your head before it arrives is a waste of the life you still have. A little foolishness makes life enjoyable. A little wisdom prevents unnecessary scars. People will walk in and out of your life, and those you least expect will become memories of a time you once thought was permanent. That realization hurts, but it also frees you. One of my biggest lessons came too late. Healing moves at the speed of forgiveness. Not because others deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Happiness is not the absence of problems. It's the ability to deal with them without losing yourself. The most courageous act you will ever commit is stepping out of your past so you can live your future. Nothing in your life will change unless you change. And sometimes, no matter how much you try, you cannot help someone who refuses to grow. Learning when to stop trying is not cruelty, it's wisdom. Your life is the result of the choices you make. There is no master plan waiting to rescue you, only consequences patiently accumulating. Be careful with good deeds. Kindness without boundaries invites exploitation. You think you know people, but often you only know the version of them you want to believe in. It took me decades to learn this. You cannot take endlessly from life without giving something back. Effort, honesty, courage, presence. You either emerge from your struggles as the hero of your story, or you stay a victim waiting for circumstances to apologize. Time with the people you love is the most valuable currency there is. Worrying about what you cannot control is a slow form of self-sabotage. Shift your energy to what you can create. Maturity begins the day you stop complaining and start changing. We forget that happiness doesn't come from acquiring more. It comes from recognizing what's already here. If you wait for someone else to save you, you will wait forever. You have to help yourself. And the moment you realize that, something shifts. You gain control, not over life, but over your participation in it. You don't have to understand everything immediately. Some answers require time. Some goodbyes are not losses, they are releases. The only person you are destined to become is the one you decide to be. It is never too late to reinvent yourself, but it does get harder the longer you delay. Some parts of you must be let go, or happiness will remain just out of reach. Obstacles are instructions, not stop signs. If you hit a wall, don't turn back. Find a way over it, through it, or around it. Purpose removes the need for constant motivation. Passion pulls you where discipline struggles to push. Life improves when you admit you don't know everything and stop pretending you do. Be the reason someone smiles. Be the reason someone believes in goodness again. Your value is not defined by someone else's inability to see it. Today is the oldest you've ever been, and the youngest you'll ever be again. Don't burn yourself to keep others warm. If you wouldn't take someone's advice, don't take their criticism. If something can be fixed, fix it. If it can't, stop bleeding energy into complaint. And if you're trying to break a habit, don't say, "This is the last time." Say, "This is the first time I'm not doing it." There is a healthy amount of distrust to have in everyone. Intentions are rarely as clear as words. You are not crazy, you are observant. Don't fear shadows. They only exist where there is light. I wish I had understood before I made misery familiar and comfort my compass. In Part 2, I'll tell you how wasting time, people-pleasing, and avoiding discomfort quietly dismantled my future, and how you can stop it before it feels permanent. The most dangerous thought I ever had was, "I'll deal with it later." Later felt responsible. Later felt calm. Later felt mature. Later was a lie. You think you have time. Almost everyone does. You think next year will be quieter, easier, more stable. You think you'll change when things slow down, when the kids are grown, when work settles, when you feel more confident, when you finally have the energy. But life does not slow down to give you space to become who you were meant to be. It speeds up, and if you don't move with it, it drags you. I wasted years trying to please people who would never be satisfied. I thought kindness meant self-sacrifice without limits. It doesn't. Real kindness includes yourself. When you set yourself on fire to keep others warm, all you teach them is that your comfort is optional. People don't think about you as much as you imagine. That realization is painful at first, then liberating. I held myself back because I feared judgment that never actually came. I edited my words, my dreams, my decisions for an audience that wasn't paying attention. Meanwhile, the life that needed my attention most, my own, waited. Dead people receive more flowers than the living because regret is stronger than gratitude. I saw that over and over at funerals. People crying, saying all the things they never said when it mattered. I promised myself I wouldn't be like that. And then I was. I waited. I assumed there would be time for calls, apologies, honesty. Sometimes there isn't. You cannot convince people to love you. You cannot earn it by shrinking, pleasing, or proving. Real love moves freely in both directions. Anything else is a transaction that will drain you dry. I stayed too long in places where love had to be negotiated. Leaving felt like failure. Staying was the real loss. One of the hardest lessons in life is knowing which bridges to cross and which to burn. Some connections cannot be repaired, only released. Holding on to them doesn't make you loyal, it makes you stuck. Pay attention. Life is always teaching. The lesson arrives when you're ready to listen, not when it's convenient. Facing your emotions gives you strength. Avoiding them makes them louder. I buried anger, grief, disappointment, and fear under politeness and productivity. I thought I was being strong. I was just postponing the reckoning. Life can only be understood backward, but it must be lived forward. Don't wait for clarity before you move. Movement creates clarity. You don't notice your progress because you keep raising the bar. That's not a flaw, it's growth. But don't let that blind you to how far you've already come. Let go or be dragged. Resistance doesn't stop change. It only makes it hurt more. If you believe strongly in something, stand up for it. No one else will protect your values the way you must. If you don't spend your life intentionally, other people will spend it for you, and they will choose based on their needs, not yours. Be grateful for what you have while you pursue what you want. Gratitude and ambition are not enemies. What ruins lives is trying to make everyone happy. That is a project with no finish line and no reward. People will forget what you said. They will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. That is your real legacy, whether you like it or not. If you have more than 3 priorities, you have none. Everything cannot matter equally. Choosing what matters most means disappointing people who benefited from your lack of boundaries. You are not responsible for the first thought that enters your mind, but you are responsible for the second one, the one you entertain, believe, and act on. Never be so kind that you forget to be clever, and never be so clever that you forget to be kind. Knowledge is knowing facts. Wisdom is knowing what to do with them. People don't always get what they deserve. Life is not a courtroom. Your mind will give up long before your body does. Don't let it. A calm sea never made a skilled sailor. If you keep questioning whether something is right for you, the answer is usually no. At some point, you will realize no one has a say in your life unless you allow it. Just because a thought grabs your attention doesn't mean it deserves it. Waiting for change while doing nothing is like waiting for a train at a bus stop. It feels hopeful, but it gets you nowhere. The greatest mistake of my life was not failure, it was delay. I postponed hard conversations. I postponed brave decisions. I postponed becoming honest with myself. I thought patience meant wisdom. Sometimes it does. Most of the time, it's fear wearing a calm expression. Nothing changes unless you change. That sounds simple because it is, and that's why people avoid it. Change asks for action, and action removes your excuses. I spent years explaining my life instead of living it. There is no plan waiting to rescue you, only consequences. Quiet ones at first, then louder, then permanent. I learned too late that you can't help someone who doesn't want to change, and you can't save relationships that require you to disappear. Walking away is not giving up. Sometimes it's choosing life. Your future is shaped by what you repeatedly tolerate. What you excuse becomes your standard. What you delay becomes your destiny. Time is the most unforgiving currency. Spend it where it grows you, not where it drains you. Spend it with people who see you, not ones who use you. Spend it building something that would still matter if no one applauded. You will never feel fully ready. That moment does not come. Courage is not confidence. It's movement in the presence of doubt. Take the step before you feel prepared, especially then. Some goodbyes are not losses. They are openings. Some endings are mercy. Some closed doors are protection. If you believe this message stings, it's because part of you already knows it's true. Pay attention. Life always whispers before it screams. I am 89 years old. I cannot give you my years back, but I can give you this. Don't wait. Don't stay. Don't shrink. Live while you can still choose how. That choice is still yours. Thank you for watching this video. Click here to watch another video that might interest you.